guys! Welcome back. Today we're going to be playing the new Outlast Trials update, Prime Time. They have done Prime Time in the past, and it is like a... Oh, what is it fucking called? What is it called? Prime Time is also like a... Oh my god, what are they called?
2 hours later.
I cannot think of the word right now, but it's like where you can add the different things to your trials, but Prime Time is one of them. And basically, you get to have either one or two of the Prime assets. You get to have all three. This time, it's going to be all three. This is a whole event specifically on all three, where you get Franco, Coil, and Gooseberry all in your same trial, which is always very difficult and very hard, especially when you have another little area that adds to it that is like Deathly Prime, where one hit and you're dead. Like, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of nuts. Them doing a new Prime Time update is huge. So we're going to go over the patch notes. We're going to go over the new stuff, and then we'll open the game and we'll look at all the catalogs and all the stuff and get playing. So without further ado, here we go, chat. Moving to the gameplay screen here. We're going to go over all these patch notes. So, like I said, we have the brand new Prime Time. It is a limited time event. I think they did one when the game kind of first came out. It was one of the updates that they did where they did do Prime Time, except for it was just this very small windowed opportunity rather than it being longer than usual. And then it was they also then added it to your trials, to where you can kind of make your own trials and you can add that. Prime Time was also a part of that. So let's get into it. Let's get into this, shall we? Our Prime assets are the core of the therapy, and it's time for you to have some quality time with Sergeant Coil, Mother Gooseberry, and Franco Barbie during Prime Time, along with 2 new sadistic MK challenges that push you to fumigate the factory and gamble your life for freedom. So this update includes a limited time event, Prime Time. It includes the catalog as well. There's 2 new MK challenges, Fumigate the Factory and Redeem Your Freedom. It's also a revamp of Program Genesis. There's going to be a quick player placed by Group Finder, which I really am already... This is great right here. Because quick play is just... I don't know why it's just quick play, because you're actually just fighting a group and then you have to sit there and fight a group. So we're going to see what those are going to be. The pause menu has been reworked. There's task tracking and then also many additional fixes and balances. Task tracking is going to be a big one. That's huge. I'm not going to watch the YouTube video. You guys can watch it if you would like. It's basically just a little clip they posted on their socials as well on Red Barrel. So here is the new Prime Time catalog here. It's definitely looking... I'm always excited because we'll dive in the catalog later. But I can tell already, there is the Prime asset icons, which a lot of people have been begging for months for Red Barrels to finally release the, I guess, just the icons in general. There is some plants as well. I'm curious to see if it's going to be kind of summer-esque vibes too. The same thing with every catalog. Once the event ends, the catalog will be removed and any unspent tokens will be lost. This is something I said in my last videos of when we were looking at the new Season 4 update. Season 3? Season 4. Whatever number it was, I can't remember. The last video I had, we talked about, I wish there was a way after limited time events that you could transfer your tokens and convert them into the Murkoff stamps. So having all of the leftover tokens from any event is a little stressful, because if you're playing a lot like me and a lot of the community, you end up with like 1,000+ limited tickets and you can't do anything with it. They just disappear. So I would love, once again, Red Barrels, I would love a way to transfer and convert the regular limited time tokens into Murkoff stamps. That would be so lovely. Like I said, even if it's like 1 limited time token transfers to, you know, or I mean like 10 limited time tokens transfer to one Murkoff stamp, something like that, something to where we can use these fucking tokens without all of the work that we've done and playtime we've done just not be for anything, especially when the catalog's fully unlocked. Next is the MK challenge. One of the new ones is Fumigate the Factory. I definitely think this is obviously going to be in the Futterman factory. Aging workers with their pensions and benefits are the bleeding wounds of our economy, draining the corporate body with their chronic existence. Stop the bleeding with a sterilizing gas and put the workers out of their misery. Damn. I wonder if we're gonna have to move some of the bodies, kind of like where it's incinerate the sex toys where you're pushing the cart, or if we're having to like pick up the bodies like we do in the downtown maps with that, or with like Foster the Children where you're picking up the kids as well. I'm curious to see what this door is gonna be for as well. The new MK challenge is Redeem Your Freedom. Currency, like your survival, is worthless unless you give it value with faith. Collect tickets like your life depended on it. This is also in Grind the Bad Apples map. Also part of the factory. I think this is the ticket thing is gonna be very much like the new challenge. I cannot remember what it was called. It was one of the ones where you're in the carnival and you have to get all the tickets. I can't, my brain cannot think right now. But it's the trial where you're trying to get the tickets and put them in the things for you can move on, as well as one of the new actual full trials as well. So here we're gonna go into like we kind of talked shortly about the challenges and the catalog, but this is where we're gonna really kind of get into the meat of the issues. So revamp of program Genesis. The Genesis program has revamped to include all trials and MK challenges. These are like if you're getting A+ on these trials and MK challenges, then you're getting tokens and you're getting XP and you're getting stamps and then XP and sometimes little trophies. So this is really nice. So the trials are now organized by theme. Also curious to be what theme means here. Very curious to know what that's going to be. Programs now feature distinct visual feedback to clearly differentiate between trials and MK challenges. I like this. I think this is particularly this sentence here. I think this is going to be huge in terms of when you're in the... I think this is going to be when you're in the loading train and you're being transferred to your trial. There's always the same things that pop up when you're getting the gas, and it's always the same visual thing for each map. So I'm very curious to see what the new if this is what it means, where these new things are going to be. Like, you'll be able to tell, especially when you're playing escalation therapy, you're going to be able to tell immediately based on the visual, like the visual transition. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I'm hoping that's what that means. Going forward, all new trials and MK challenges will be added under their corresponding themes within the Genesis program. Like I said, I'm curious to see what this theme, like how they are going to separate the themes. Quick Play replaced by Group Finder. Quick Play has been replaced with the new Group Finder, which is lovely. Instead of it just being Quick Play, that's not really what we're doing. We're finding groups. We're all trying to work as a team together, okay? Accessible from the terminal's main screen, the Group Finder allows players to connect with others looking to participate in the same activity. So here we have a developer comment. With the wide variety of activities in the game, managing them all through a single matchmaking system became increasingly complex. This often led to long wait times or failed group formations. This, 100%. The amount of times I have waited for an escalation therapy, the amount of times I've waited for new Prime events and everyone's doing something else, like, I get it. The new Group Finder often offers a streamlined solution, helping players quickly connect with others interested in the same activity. Once matched, players can communicate to fine-tune the details before jumping in. This is also really lovely, because what sucks is... I bitched about this also in the last video. What sucks the most is trying to find a match, and you're like, hey, I want to play escalation therapy, and you click Quick Play, and you don't really have an option to select which trial or thing you're wanting to do. So some people, when it's a limited time event, only want to do limited time event trials. Other people only want to play escalation. And the worst part is when you're doing quick play, it just matches you with a group, and you're hoping that the team leader doesn't change the trial. So like sometimes when you're getting escalation therapy, it takes a long time to find somebody to match with the group, and then the team leader either chooses to stay on escalation therapy or they can pick literally any other regular trial, and that's difficult because the amount of times I have matched for escalation therapy and end up having to play a regular long trial is like frustrating. I love how, I'm curious to see how this is gonna look. We're gonna take a look at this later. I'm just curious of how this is going to really benefit the community, especially with just it being more particular. Very also curious to see about the wait times on that, because like I said, escalation therapy sometimes takes forever to find a match. And it's basically everyone, the old system was everyone find a group, and then team leader is the only one who decides what everyone's playing, which is fine because some people only, like I said, only want to play escalation, some people want to play other things, but you don't get to choice and you don't get to tell people, which sucks. All right, so the pause menu rework. The pause menu now features 3 tabs: menu, tasks, and loadout. Players can navigate through these tabs to view the respective content. While in a trial, the loadout tab is view only. Changes can still be made in the sleep room and shuttle before starting a trial. Holding tab or select on gamepad remains a shortcut quickly to open the tasks tab. Perfect. So that the control didn't switch. Task tracking. I'm kind of gonna be obsessed with this if this is what I think it is. It is now possible to pin one task and have it displayed in the HUD permanently. Amazing. The amount of times I have to go back and forth. You're going back and forth. You're pressing tab or select. You're just trying to, what is it again that I have to do? Oh, yeah. What is it again I have to do? Oh, yeah. Like the amount of times I do that is like incessant. And I'm glad that they have kind of added this and they've kind of fixed this, because that was getting so annoying. Forgetting what I was doing, and the fact that it's just one is totally okay. You don't want a bunch of shit on your screen anyways, but to also just be able to be like, this is the main one I'm working on, easy peasy. Instead of every 5 seconds while you're in game and you're trying to run and you have to like either find a hiding spot or you have to like stop and make sure you're not getting chased or anything, you're having to open the menu real quickly, look through your shit, and then close it. So you simply navigate the task menu and press the pin input. Perfect. So here are the additional additions to fixing fixes, and balancing. Why was that so hard to say? Weekly therapies are now called routine therapies and include more tasks to complete for extra rewards. Interesting. This change helps distinguish them from rotating weekly tasks and week-long program tasks. Interesting sentence. Like I said, this will probably be, I'll have to visually see what this is because my brain did not compute this. Routine therapies and special therapies will now include event variators. Variators! That was the fucking word I was looking for earlier. Oh my god, variators. That's what, literally, I kept being like, it's the thing you add to the trial, and it's like a little accessory to the trial, and I couldn't remember what the fuck the fucking word was. Variators. Holy shit. That's what I was fucking talking about. So the therapies will now include variators in the introductory difficulty, since it's now possible to play any trial in its original form within the program Genesis. The Jaeger X-Pop changes, okay? Like, Miss Henrietta has been an amazing add to the whole story and to the play, so I'm curious to see, let's see what her changes are going to be. The Jaeger will no longer spawn during trials of the Genesis programs on introductory and standard difficulties. That's actually really lovely for new players, because, not gonna lie, if you're not familiar with how the Jaeger works, you're automatically gonna probably die and fail if you're not with a team and you're by yourself and you're just trying to figure out the game. I think that's very beneficial for a lot of new people, especially people that have no clue or haven't really been following the stories or don't really look at patch notes or anything like that. I think this is extremely important, because introductory is literally, you're just learning the trials, you're trying to figure it out. The amount of times I played introductory when I was first starting out, just to see what the map means, just to see what the trials do, just to like take a look at all the new stuff. That's wonderful. And also in standard, because standard's like, introductory is figuring it out, like, it's super easy, and then the standard is also easy as well. I don't think something huge that can kill you in one hit, possibly, should be in those sections, you know? It can still appear in standard difficulty for routine, event, and escalation therapies. Okay, that's pretty normal and what I would think, but it's not in your the Genesis programs, which are like the regular everyday things in the low folders. Spawn chances reduced to 20% was 33 in standard difficulty. Spawn chances reduced to 75 was 100% in intensive and psychosurgery. This was also kind of nice because there was nothing like when you're playing a normal thing and it wasn't a limited time event like the Jaeger's event was. We still have Henrietta in the game now, but the fact that this was at 100%, so no matter what, like this is still a high percentage. Like 75 is still pretty high. But it's not going to be like every single time you're playing, you know the Jaeger is going to pop out, especially when it comes to like the normal sections. The Jaeger can now only spawn once per trial. This right here is amazing because the amount of times that the Jaeger would spawn in, leave through an elevator, spawn somewhere else was, I'm not going to lie, kind of annoying. I'm glad they fixed this to spawn in only once per trial because it's such a big thing that you should be able to let it, because the whole point of the Jaeger is she follows you. She follows one player the whole time. The entire time of the map, she follows one player. And the fact that it sucks that you can go halfway across the other side of the map and the Jaeger will go in the elevator and then spawn right by you is kind of annoying because when you're trying to do the task, especially as a team, and you're on the other side of the map and you're the person with the Jaeger's not going to bother anybody else on your team except for you. So you're able to get the Jaeger away from you, away from all your other teammates, and to help them get their shit done while you're over here doing something. I think I found that very annoying of it just magically popping up like it's any other X-Pop. Like, it's not. It's one that's ginormous and is a one-hit kill most of the time. I don't know. I like they changed that. I'm very pro one spawn only. 100% for this. So once spawn, the Jaeger's presence in a trial is reduced to 3 minutes. Was 5 minutes. That's not horrible. I mean, I don't mind the Jaeger just being there the whole time. It's not like... I guess I didn't notice that was 5 minutes because when you're playing trials, you're trying to get stuff done as quickly as possible. So I guess I didn't notice that was only 5 minutes. Because I guess you're really only like sometimes playing a trial for 8 minutes, maybe 4 minutes if you're doing shit quickly with a full team and even by yourself. You know, you can get stuff done pretty quickly. Yeah, that's interesting. I actually did not know it was 5 minutes, so that's kind of nice. I guess they're getting 2 minutes off and only spawning once, so I guess that's nice. So with the Trial Maker, improved Variators compatibility, added a new tab, Last Played, that lists all the trials played in chronological order. That's nice. So with Escalation Therapy here, with the Escalation Therapy here, it has added all the latest MK challenges. This is lovely because I love playing Escalation Therapy. I love not having to choose a trial or a map to play. I love that I'm just like, ta-da, here you go. Like, this is it. That's all. I just want to play this and I don't really care what I'm playing. It's just random and picked, and, you know, and the difficulty increases the longer you go. And also, by the way, there is I talked about this last time. There was a player that I joined a team from, and they got me and a bunch of other people, because of their saved things with Escalation Therapy now, we got to level 2,100 and something. That was what we ended on just by jumping into this person's thing. And this person, I wrote it down because it happened again offline when I played one night. The player's name is chumlee69_. And I matched with them in Escalation Therapy once again. And not only did their saved Escalation Therapy work again for me somehow magically, but I got to Escalation Therapy 3,036. I'm not even kidding. I wrote it down. I don't know if you can see that, but I wrote it down. I wrote it down because as soon as that happened, I was like, I need to remember this person's name. I added them as a friend, and I was just like, that is insane. 3,036 level Escalation Therapy. absolutely crazy, especially with the new save thing only happening with the last update. To get to 2100, I was like shocked and crazy and mind blown. And I'm sure now, if I found this person again, the escalation therapy would be probably in the 7,000s, just solely based on, I haven't played with that person in only 2 weeks. So I could only imagine that it's probably to like 7,000 now. But yeah, the fact that they got that far and it counted for me because me and some other people jumped into their team and I matched with the person randomly once again, like crazy. But yeah, if you guys are on the lookout, the person's name is Chumlee69_. That is the person in the game that has probably one of the highest escalation therapies I have ever seen. So that's wild. So also with escalation therapy, so we're getting all the new AMK challenges together, all the new trials, which is lovely because they didn't really do that last time. It added like once, and the random roll for it wasn't insane. And then also they are reducing the number of syringes in trials, which I kind of love and kind of hate at the same time. I have a love-hate with this because if you have your, oh my god, my brain's going blank. What is it called? My brain is so blank right now today when I'm talking about this shit. If you have one of the rigs that allow you to revive yourself, or you have the skills to revive yourself in the game, that's like not a big deal because you can also revive yourself and or revive your teammate with the right rigs and amps and shit, right? The problem is like there is a good number of syringes. Then you also have the variators on the game that take away revives completely. So the syringes are useless. And then also like I think the number of syringes aren't like, I think it's at a good level. Like I could be wrong. There could be people that think there's maybe too many. But I think it's always a good number because there's maybe like 3 or 4, maybe 1 for each player when you're on like easy modes. And then once you start playing escalation therapy or you're playing on anything that's intensive or psychosurgery, you're getting like maybe 1 syringe or maybe none at all, depending on the variators and everything. So like, I don't think this hinders players too much because you have amps and because your rigs can also help you. But that still is like, I don't know why they would take the syringes, reduce that number, honestly. For solo, players can now have a maximum reserve of 5 respawns, including escalation. This right here is how people have been getting escalation so high. Truly this right here, because almost every match you can pop you can pop one of your respawn pills, okay? And that allows you to respawn. And it became like unlimited, and especially during escalation, which is how people are managing to get to the high. So it's kind of like they're just constantly have like 40 revives stacked here. So they can just keep playing over and over and over and over and finding more respawns. The fact that this is going to be a huge blow to people, probably like Chumlee here, who has managed to get so high in an escalation run, especially with the save mode, that if there's only 5 respawns, I don't think people are going to get that high anymore. But that's interesting that it says including escalation. Like, I think that's gonna fuck a lot of the people who are grinding for that really high number. I'm curious to see if they go back into their save files and now there's only 5 respawns. Kind of nuts, but yeah. I guess that would affect the 3036 level escalation there. With the Genesis, it is adjusted variators in intensive and psychosurgery difficulties. The settings, there's a new option that's been added to automatically equip to pick up items. Thank God. Holy shit. This is nice. Lovely. The stamina boost item now grants temporary stamina immunity and a short speed boost upon consumption. Stamina immunity. Maybe your stamina doesn't go down? Which it should already have not gone down? I don't know. Added new behaviors for the imposters. List of behaviors redacted on purpose. Fuck off. I love how they said that. I hate that. The imposters are the bane of my fucking existence in this game. Last season they updated, the season 3 they updated fucking the imposters, and they made him hold things and ping and like wave at you and shit, and you're thinking it's your fucking teammate, and then they come and just stab and kill you. I hate it. The fact that they added more shit, and then they're being like, fuck you guys, we're not gonna tell you what it is. Red barrels, you asses. The gameplay tutorials will now reappear for players who have been inactive for several days. Fix missing rewards for the Genesis score A+, and the trial liquidate the Union. Players will have to recomplete the task to claim the reward. Okay, well that's nice because mine was not working, so I'm glad they fixed that. Fixed a bug where program Genesis was reset after relapse. Absolutely did not happen to me, but a lot of people got more things and other various bug fixes. So that's a lot. That's a lot for this primetime update. I love that they are all not only doing updates, but they are fixing a bunch of the bugs and everything else behind the scenes too. Really excited for that. And curious to see. We're gonna dive right into the primetime event in just a bit and check out the catalog and some gameplay. So I will see you guys on the next video and check that out.